like heroin or other opioids multiple times in a repeated manners, this system that it's pretty well tuned and pretty well operated initially, over time the system becomes dysregulated. It doesn't function exactly the same way as it used to work for that person, or as it still works for people who don't use opioids. And all of these mechanisms are responsible for what we observe as tolerance, withdrawal, and other effects, immediate and long-term effects of opioid use. Amphetamine-type stimulant drugs, they work slightly different. They primarily, drugs like amphetamine and other stimulants, they result in a massive release of neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft, and some of them also block reuptake of that. And again, I'm a little bit repeating what Robert said, but the mechanisms of action of stimulants is slightly different than the mechanisms of action of opioids. But both of these happen right here in pretty much the same place in the brain on synaptic connections. Besides, Robert mentioned norepinephrine system, there are other neurotransmitters involved. And again, my goal is not to give you a comprehensive lecture on all neurobiology of drugs. It's a little bit of a repetition. For me, from my perspective, trying to help people not to stop using drugs, I'm much less interested in the exact neurological mechanisms. I'm more interested in ways to understand how these mechanisms affect their behavior.